All right, so I just want to take a moment and just showcase a simple utility we put together to help size and kind of determine the number of places in your Jive environment. And by number of places, it basically means number of groups, number of spaces, number of projects and blogs. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got a shortcut on my desktop to a utility called Migrator. Go ahead and double click on that. And it's basically three pieces of information I need to provide. I need to provide the Jive URL. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and connect to the sandbox. So sandbox.jiveon.com. I'll go ahead and throw in my credentials. You'll need credentials that actually has read access to all the different places. So it'll need to have quite a bit of access, just doesn't need to have write access, just the ability to read everything. So I'll put in my password if I can get that right. Okay, and then I'll click on the Get Jive Details button. What happens here is the first thing it does is it goes and it makes a query to Jive and it captures the current Jive version. And then you'll see this message displayed for a little while. Essentially what's happening is the utilities is using the public Jive API to go through and iterate through all the different places that are returned. It does this as a series of API calls. So it may take a moment because depending on how many places you have in Jive, I think in the sandbox, I think there's like around 2,000 or so. It'll go fairly quickly. So it tries to make use of parallel processing, so it makes multiple calls at the same time and tries to do an effective job of getting the places. So, but it still may take a while. So just don't want you to get discouraged if you're sitting here for a while wondering what it's doing. So we'll keep an eye on this. When it's done, it'll actually change the screen and it'll show you a summary of the different inventory count of places. And the reason why that's important is because that's what we use to determine kind of how big your environment is, how much stuff you've got to actually migrate. At some point in the future, we will go a little bit deeper and try to get the volume of content within those places. But for now, we use places kind of the count of places as kind of our baseline of how big a particular Jive environment is. So let's give this a moment. Meanwhile, actually, while this is running, let's see. Let's bring up one of the things you'll notice here is there is a logs file that is created. And if any issues occur or anything like that, it'll actually write to the log file. And then as a result, when it's finished, it'll actually write to this output summary. So that is something that will live in your environment as well when you run this. You'll actually get a logs folder and then an output summary. So if you don't somehow capture what's on the screen or you miss that, you can actually go back into the logs folder and still get that information. I figured I'd point that out while we are waiting for this to come back. There we go. And it finished, and you can see here it actually gave me a total of 1,175 places. And you kind of see the breakdown of what these are. Best thing to do is just click on copy to clipboard, and then you can take and put it in an email, basically the same output here. Or as it's instructed here, you can go to this questionnaire and paste your content into that questionnaire so that it's recorded with your organization. If you want to find out the version information, some other details about the utility, we'll probably be adding more to this later. If you click on the little ThreeWill icon, it'll show you some basic information about it. So that it's like I said, it's supposed to be a super simple utility, just to design to get you the number of places, and it's something for us to talk to. So, thanks a lot.